Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Thornburg, and I wanted to share an encounter I had with a 15-year-old and her mom at a well child check yesterday. The issue was over cell phone. Mom wanted to take away the cell phone before bed, and the son wanted to keep the cell phone. The mom was concerned that if she didn't take away the phone, that he would stay on it past bedtime and then become tired the next day. And this is a very common kind of tug of war that happens between parents and teenagers, and we have to remember that teenagers are preparing themselves to become adults. So they're doing natural wanting to take more and more control and to become more autonomous. And parents, obviously, for many reasons, struggle with releasing autonomy to the child because they want to see their child do very well. And so you implement or you force down your opinion on the child. So I shared with the mom a really important study from 2019. It's from the University of Michigan, and they surveyed parents of 17-year-olds, and they said, have you adequately prepared your child for adulthood? And 87% of them said that they had. However, their feelings of how well they prepared their teenager for adulthood collapsed once this is 17-year-olds, began to ask very specific questions about being an adult. Only 8% knew how to make doctor's appointment. 25% didn't know how to dose an over-the-counter medication. The majority of 17-year-olds didn't feel they knew how to wash a car, and only 30% could identify a flathead screwdriver. So you can see that while we feel we're preparing our children for adulthood, we're actually not. And this is why we're seeing so many difficulties with our teenagers as they become adults, because they're just not being provided adequate exposure to responsibility. And so mom, this 15-year-old boy, and I work through a responsible way of meeting everybody's needs. Obviously, mom wants to make sure the child is well rested and prepared for school and can perform well in athletics. The child wants to have socialization and take on more responsibility. So I said, rather than just assuming the child was going to use the phone after curfew, we would set up some parameters, come up with a game plan on how to handle bedtime, cell phone use, socialization, and the responsibilities of school and sports. And I said, if the child's making good grades, performing academically, and isn't having behavioral issues, then that child's demonstrating all the responsibility that they can at their age. They're doing everything they possibly can to show that I am mature enough. So I said, you have to give your child, your teenager, the benefit of the doubt. Let him have his cell phone. But during that discussion, you also need to speak about what happens if we catch you on your phone after 10 o'clock. If the child wants to stay up a little bit later on their cell phone, he needs to communicate that before the 10 o'clock curfew so the parents aren't scratching their head later and he's coming up with an excuse. So this is how we're going to handle developing responsibility in the child. We identify what the mom needs. She wants to make sure her child's well rested, staying healthy, and can perform. And the child wants to become more of an adult. And we're going to do this by making each other's life wonderful by communicating what everybody needs. Thanks.